Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to give it just a few more minutes for the rest of the team and our panelists to arrive and join us for this session. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to give it just a few more minutes and we will get started with this session. Thank you. To those just joining us, thank you all so much for joining us for this session. This is only meant for nonprofits. We will get started here in about 2 minutes. Thank you all for your patience. While we give it some time for this session to begin, I do want to remind everybody that at the bottom of your screen, you should see a Q&A section. This will allow you to post any questions to the chat, and we will be answering those at the end of the session. Alrighty, we're going to get started here. As a reminder, this session is intended for nonprofits. These webinars are to walk permissible challengers through the challenge process. From our team at the Arizona Commerce Authority, the State Broadband Office, we have Crystal Severs and I, Perla Lopez. I'm going to allow for Caitlin to take it away and present herself from AppGeo side. Thank you.
Thanks, Perla. My name is Caitlin Severy. I'm with the AppGeo division of the Sanborn Mapping Company, working directly with the application development and training materials for the Broadband Navigator. I'm here with my colleague, Emily Casadaban. If you could actually upgrade her as a panelist, she'll be doing the presentation today for us. Perfect, thank you. I'm gonna pass it. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no worries. While Emily is setting herself up, just for the new people that joined us, as a reminder, there is a Q&A section for everyone to ask your questions. These questions will be answered at the end of the webinar, and we will be monitoring these questions, and as well these recordings will be posted to our website, and we'll post those resources for you in the chat. Thank you, Emily. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
All right, thank you. Yes, again, like Caitlin said, my name is Emily. I am a JS analyst over with Sanborn, and I will be walking you guys through the demo today. So I will go ahead and share my screen. All right, can everybody see my screen? Great. All right, so we'll go ahead and jump in. So upon first entering the Broadband Navigator, you will be presented with this splash screen. It'll give a little bit of information about the Navigator itself, in addition to giving you a little bit of descriptions about the served, underserved, and unserved addresses, which we'll get into in a little bit. In order to exit out of this out of this splash screen, you can click the X in the top right corner, or you can come down here and click Do Not Show This Again, and then explore the map. Once you enter the map, you will see Arizona front and center. You will see that it is color-coded in this purplish color. That is the default theme, which is going to show service coverage of 100/20. And off to the left, you will see a legend with what the available colors mean. You can toggle at the top between different themes. You can click service coverage of 25/3, and you can also choose the number of providers, and the legend in the map will automatically update with your selection. You also have the option to change the different boundaries. So if you come over here, you can select the different available options as far as boundaries go, and the theme and the app will automatically update with those boundaries. You can also click over here and choose between different unserved, underserved, and served points, which again, we will zoom into a little bit later so you guys can get a better look at those. And then we also have the funding toggle, which you can turn on and see all the available funding in Arizona. And it'll also appear off to the right with a little legend that'll describe the funds as well. If you wanted any additional information about these funds, you can go up to the top and click Help. And this is just a really good lot of information about the Navigator, about specifics as far as the served, underserved, and unserved locations, and then a little bit of information from the state of Arizona, as well as from us about how to use the Navigator. But if you go over here to the table of contents, you can click the funding layer, and you will see all the available funds, what their acronyms mean, as well as links to their sites. So as far as the address information, you will see that there's a bunch of these little donuts throughout the map. These are address clusters that as you zoom in, they will get smaller, and eventually they will zoom down to just address points. So you can click on those. Over to the left, in addition to a legend for the map, we also have broadband and digital equity indicators for the entire state. That is what is currently being shown right now. You can see coverage, speed, subscription, income, race, and age. And if you wish to see these in a more succinct format, you can click data, and it'll show you all the data available in a more flat format instead of just the charts. If you wish to know specific information about a boundary, for example, this county, if I were to click on the county, the information to the left will automatically update with the area that I have selected. So as far as finding an address, you can either search for an address using the search bar in the top right or the top left, and you can also click and search by different areas as well. In addition to searching using the search bar, you can also zoom in to a specific area, as I did earlier, and you will see all the available address points for that area. And once you click on an address point, the information over to the left will populate with information about that specific address. It'll give you the address itself, whether or not it is a residential or business. And then it'll also show you the whether or not the location is served. And it'll also list all the available providers, technology, speed, and whether or not business or residential service is offered at these locations. You can also check and see if it is a funded location, and then if there's any challenges against it. So I will stop right now, and if there are any questions about the actual Navigator map itself, I would be happy to answer those. All right. Doesn't seem like that. Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Currently, there are no questions in the chat. We'll give it just a second here for anybody who has any questions, but if there's additional things that you would like to show, that'd be great.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I just wanted to stop for questions now. But I will get into the registration process if everybody is good with that. As far as registering for an account, so you can do it one of two ways. The first one being you can click the sign in option in the top right, or I'm sorry, the top left, and you can click in your request a new account, and it'll automatically bring you to this page where you can fill out the information and request an account. The other option to request an account is down here, where under Connectivity Hub, you can see there's a question of, are you an ISP, nonprofit, local tribe, or government? And you can click that link and it'll again bring you to the page where you can request a new account. So you will fill in your full name, your email address, your phone number, and you will choose your organization from the organization category dropdown, in this case, nonprofit, and then another dropdown will appear. This will list the organization for which you're specifically a part of. If you were the first user registering for your specific organization, you will need to go in here and choose Other, and then type in the organization of which you are a part of below. For example, I'm just going to type in Emily's org. Once you have submitted your request for a new account, it will go directly to the broadband office, and the broadband office will either accept your account and you will receive an email letting you know to follow the next steps to finish registering, or your account will be denied and you will again be receiving an email letting you know. And you can contact the broadband office with any questions about that. If you are, again, are the first person submitting, you want to add this organization, your name, and then you will go ahead and submit, and every user that registers after you will then see that organization in this drop down below so they can select it. So I will stop now again and see if there are any questions.
None yet, we're good to go.
Perfect. All right, so after you have registered and you have been accepted as a new user, you can go to sign in, and then I'm going to use this one. And once you sign in, there are a couple new options you will see. So the first one is going to be a challenge dashboard. So I will walk through the process of submitting a challenge first. So let me get my available address that I have. So I'm going to go ahead and search for this specific address. It's going to bring me to that location. And as you see off to the side, again, it'll tell you whether the location is served, the provider information, and then if the location is receiving funding, it will give you information about the fund and the provider for that fund. In order to submit this as a challenge, you would just come down here and click Submit a Challenge, and then the new page will appear. And from this service issue dropdown, you can choose any of the available service issues. In this case, we'll choose availability. It'll bring you to another page where you will then enter the provider, technology, speed, reason, and the property type. Then you will scroll down, review the information, and that should
Emily, choose a provider that's served. Choose the other
Okay.
provider on the list. Yeah. Not.
This one? Or
Try another type. We just made some updates to the
Yeah.
application today, so it could just be something that needs to be looked at.
Yes, I believe so. This was working earlier. I do apologize for this, guys. I'll try enforceable commitment. Yes, okay, awesome. This is working. So those will be working. We're just making some updates that should be rolling out this afternoon and tomorrow. So you will enter in the name of the enforceable commitment, technology being built, plan download speed, plan upload speed, and then you will review this information, the Privacy Act statement, click next, and then you will be required to submit evidence for your challenge. So you can choose your available files over here. The listed formats that we accept are listed right here. And this information, the evidence that you have to submit, is a dynamic text and will change based on the challenge type that you are submitting. You are allowed to submit up to 5 files, all of which need to be a combined below 5 megabytes. So once you have chosen your evidence, you can click submit, and you will see in the top corner there is a challenge successfully submitted sign. I will also real quick go over how to do a bulk challenge. So over here, you will see this little pencil. You can click on it, and you can actually draw a polygon around the specific addresses you wish to do a bulk update or a bulk challenge for. And you can just click down here, submit challenge, and go through the previous steps in order to submit. So we will go into the challenge dashboard now. So you do so by clicking this little icon in the top right, and then go to challenge dashboard. And you will see all of the challenges that you have submitted. As you guys can see, we've been testing this out, and so we've submitted quite a lot of challenges. But these are challenges that just your organization has submitted. So you can click on one of these and review any of the information that you have provided. You can review the evidence, you can see the status, as well as you can make comments if needed. Once a challenge has been accepted, or once a challenge has been submitted, my apologies, it'll go straight to the broadband office where it will be reviewed and either accepted or rejected. If accepted, the broadband office will then put it into a rebuttal phase. And if rejected, it'll come down here to this completed option. And this completed section is basically meaning that the challenge has completed its life cycle. So it is no longer a challenge. However, if you would like to resubmit, you may do so. As far as rebuttals go, so once a challenge has been accepted by the broadband office, it then goes into the rebuttal phase, and you can view all open rebuttals viewing in this open rebuttal dashboard. So these are all rebuttals that are open to any user who has a registered account to come in and rebut. So this is including local governments, ISPs, and the nonprofits. So in order to rebut, you would just come in here, click rebut, provide the evidence that is required for that rebuttal. Again, this text is dynamic and will change based off of the challenge type that you are rebutting. And these, again, are the available file formats that we will accept. And then you would just choose your file, click submit, and then again, you would see a little green arrow in the top corner saying that you have successfully submitted your rebuttal. So I will stop here and see if there are any questions about the challenge process.
I just want to make a quick point. There is the bulk challenge option, but it is not available for all types of challenges. It's only available for enforceable commitment, not a part of enforceable commitment and planned service challenges. So any availability challenges that you might have, you do need to submit them independently, the way that Emily went over first and foremost.
All right, I'm going to return to the map. So it doesn't look like we have any questions yet. So that is pretty much it for the demo. It's a fairly easy application to use, but again, if you guys have any questions, there's this little help information up here that'll give you a lot of information about the demo or about the navigator and how to use it and what all the little tools mean. So this is a lot of really useful information, as well as feel free to contact us with any questions too.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Emily. We'll give it a few minutes. There are no questions currently in the chat, but these sessions are being recorded. So we will post these recordings as well to our ACA website. Links to the website are found in the webinar chat, as well as the link to the portal for anyone watching us today and joining us. You have those links are available. We'll give it just a few minutes and allow for any questions to pop up on the question and answers tab, as well as any hand raises. We can also take any hand raised questions. Thank you. Alrighty, we do have one question here. I'm going to allow for Deborah to join us on the panelists.
I just wanted to say that the chat says it's disabled.
We will look into that. Or do you have access to the question and answer?
I went into, okay, so you're doing it under Q&A. I was just looking at, I heard chat, so I couldn't have any questions in there, but I just wanted to let you know, maybe that was one reason nobody had any questions.
Thank you for that, Deborah. We appreciate it. But it's a great thing to bring up again that we are using the Q&A section for questions. And if anybody has additional questions, they can also raise their hands and we can bring them up to the stage just like Deborah. Thank you for that, Deborah. Appreciate it.
Well, it looks like you did a really good job, Emily.
Awesome.
I'm just gonna add, when you register as a challenger, as a nonprofit, we'll likely follow up with you, the email that you use, just to verify your 501(c)(3) status. That'll help us basically know that you're a legitimate nonprofit and that you have the community's best interest in mind. And if you don't have questions now, that's completely fine. We're going to post this recording onto our broadband website for you to review later. And if you have questions following that, you can send us a direct email to the team, or you can email broadband@azcommerce.com, and we'll answer all of your questions there. If you have, technical difficulties navigating the navigator, you can also sign up for office hours, and I'll let Perla speak more about that. She's busy.
Thank
Sorry.
you, Chris. I'm sending everybody the broadband AZ Commerce email. Thank you so much for that, Crystal. Like Crystal was mentioning, we do have office hours every Tuesday for 2 hours. 30-minute slots are available for anybody who signs up. I will put that link here in the chat as well for everybody to have access to it, so that just like Deborah had mentioned in the chat, saying sometimes some of us need time to review and then generate some questions. That is a great opportunity to be able to review the portal, learn how to navigate through it on your own. And then if you have those questions that come up during that review session that you have on your own time, definitely join us for those office hours, and we can definitely help you with anything that you have regarding the portal. And I will post the link to the office hours in the chat right now.
We also have our roundtable that we held for nonprofits. that's already posted. That recording is posted to our website. So if you weren't there for that, it's where we talk in depth about how the challenge process will work and what types of challenges are permissible, what types of evidence is needed. Emily, Caitlin, sorry to put you on the spot, but I was wondering if you had the ability to kind of show folks how the speed test works and, just how anybody can do a speed test or submit a broadband issue. But ultimately, those will be collected by challengers.
Sure, no problem. I think that the speed test functionality itself is turned off right now until tomorrow is when it should be turning on. But I can share my screen and kind of go through the steps. Emily, if you don't mind, I can just pop.
Yeah,
my
of course.
screen up.
Stop. Okay, there we go. Figured out how to do it. Sorry.
We don't typically use Zoom, so we're we're learning. All right. So for a public user to use the speed test or to submit a service issue, they can come in. You don't need to be registered. You can be any user. You can zoom in to your address by either just zooming on the map, or you can search your address in the search bar like Emily had shown you. Select your address. And to take a speed test, you can take a speed test below. The speed test functionality is off right now until the application is fully deployed, which will be tomorrow. But at that point, when you select take a speed test, you'll get a pop-up and it'll ask you to start your speed test. It will run through the steps, it'll run through your speed test, and then at the end, if your service qualifies you as served to a specific threshold, you will not be prompted to submit it as evidence because you are deemed as served. If your service is below a certain threshold, you will be asked to submit your contact information. From there, 24 hours later, you will be asked to submit a second speed test. 24 hours after that, you will be asked to submit a third speed test. All three of those will be collected together and submitted to the nonprofit to be able to then generate a challenge from that. In addition to the speed test on the application, non-users, the public may come in and report a service issue, and they can do so right here. The steps are pretty similar to reporting a challenge, but it's not going in as a challenge. It's going in as a service issue. It's not generating a challenge itself. You can go in and report an availability, data cap, or business service only service issue here. They can do so by selecting it, filling in their information, first, last, email, provider technology, and speed that they are reporting the service on, the reason for the report, and then their property type. And then once they press submit, it will go in. They will have to select their evidence to go ahead and submit that service issue. It's really important to have that evidence on hand when they go in so they don't go through all the steps and then go to submit it and they are asked for evidence and then don't have it on them. So those are just kind of the easy steps. Did you want me to showcase anything else, Crystal?
No, that's super helpful, and I think it's going to be really helpful for this group. When assuming that most of you sign up to be a challenger, this will be the types of evidence that you'll need to submit a speed test or latency issue, and it's going to be helpful for you collecting this evidence to submit challenges. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to stay on for a little bit longer if anybody has some questions. But other than that, we're going to conclude the session here. And the team will stay on if any questions come up. Thank you.
And we have several types of material on our website that might help you engage the community and help them understand why they should take a speed test and how to do that. That's posted on our ACA website, which Carla has already posted the link to. So check that out, and if you want, you can distribute it to your communities.
Alrighty, everyone. We will conclude here. Thank you all so much for your time. And if you have any follow-up questions that you think of throughout the week or the day, please email us at broadband@azcommerce.com. You have the link to our office hours as well as all the resources available on our website, and these recordings will be posted on there as well. Thank you all for your time, and we hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you, Caitlin. Thank you, Emily.
Thank you. All right. Have a good day. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.